Yeah, I mean, I think our pitching depth is really strong, and I think it makes it hard on me almost to pick who should start against what opponent, because I really feel like we have a lot of quality starters to choose from. I think the difference this year to last year's team and even the 2010 team is the quality of arms in the bullpen as well. Both of those teams, we kind of had one or two guys we'd really ride. Now we've got 4 or 5 quality bullpen arms to go with 5 starters. So I feel like that's big. You need pitching to advance in tournament play. I think last tournament when we got into the losers bracket, we still felt very confident because we knew who all the other teams had left, and we liked our odds. The middle of the order has been very consistent, and I think our top and bottom. I thought Lopez just had an outstanding LEC tournament, and I think the one thing we pride ourselves with is we can score in a lot of different ways. I think we hit extra base hits. We can steal. We can use the short game, and we did that a lot in the LEC tournament. We used a bunch of different plays to score runs, and I think that gives me some options that if it's a day that maybe we're not really squaring up a pitcher, we can sack bunt, we can squeeze, we can safety squeeze, we can hit and run. We utilize the slash. We can do a lot of different things to put runners into motion, and I have confidence in our hitters to execute the plays. And some of those plays really paid big dividends in the LEC for us. I mean, I think it's always good to have a team that's had postseason experience, and I think the Mid-Atlantic region, we've got 4 teams now in the New England region, so I think that's kind of unique that you've got so many teams in a completely different regional the next year. But I think we're definitely confident going into it. We've played really good baseball over the last 25 games, so I think if we can just continue to play our type of baseball and continue to execute, that's a big thing. I think in tournament play, you got to play clean defensively. I think we were a little up and down with the gloves in the LEC tournament. I think we were lucky to pitch ourselves out of some jams that we made by booting routine plays, but I thought we did a very good job on the mound of limiting freebies. We didn't really hit or walk many people, and we struck out a lot of guys, and that kind of helps when your defense has a hiccup if you can get a couple key punch outs. I think given the given that we do have some veterans, that should hopefully help us in the regional, but it's a one game at a time kind of thing. And I don't, Berks has been in the regionals a bunch of years in a row, so are a bunch of the other teams in that tournament, so I don't know if that definitely gives us an advantage over other teams. It's the same mindset. I think, when you're in a regional, everyone there has pretty much been a champion. Everyone's dogpiled. Everyone's won a ton of games. Everyone's very capable of beating anyone. So I think with me, the 1 seed, it's a nice nod for having a successful regular season. But for me, it's like all the matchups are tough matchups. I got to see Penn State Berks play last year 4 different times. We played them down in the Mid-Atlantic Regional and beat them 10-5. But I was extremely impressed with their team, their offensive approach, and kind of what they can do. And just knowing the other teams in the regional, we've played almost all of them within the last 12 months, with the exception of Arcadia, who's kind of an unknown. But I know all those teams are really solid, so it's going to be a very good challenge ahead. No, I don't think there's any added pressure. I mean, I think the New England is extremely good in Division III baseball. I think it's a little bit of a fluke that no one's made it to the World Series the last 2 years. I know just from coming out of the Little East Conference, I mean, there's 4 extremely talented teams in the Little East Conference tournament who were very, very scary. And just knowing who's in this New England regional right now, I think there's a lot of very good teams. And this year with Wheaton going to another to the Mid-Atlantic and having Southern Maine and Tufts and Castleton over New York, I think New England will get a representative back in the College World Series, and hopefully it's UMass Boston. I think just keep playing good baseball. I think execution's really big. I think if we execute at a high level in all 3 phases, I think we'll be in every game. And I think that's one thing about this team is we've played from behind a ton, and we've won a tremendous amount of games by 2 runs or less. And I think that's definitely a key. Some teams that have just kind of blown people out the whole season, when you get to tournament play and you start facing top-end arms, they're going to be low-scoring games. So I think with us, I think we're very comfortable in close games because of our bullpen and because of our ability to score in a lot of different ways. And also, we've had one of the best defenses in New England the entire year. So I think if we can bring our A game and keep the mojo flowing, I think we'll have definitely a good opportunity to continue to play well and hopefully advance to Appleton.